Good morning, South Burlington High School. Today is March 31st, and it is a gray day on your schedule. Just a reminder, it's a great week this week, so that Friday is also a gray day. Hey, on this day in 1889, TIE France students should probably know that the Eiffel Tower opened on March 31st in 1889. French engineer Alexandre Eiffel unfurled the French flag from the top of the tower, which has since become the most iconic landmark in all of Paris. So today's announcements, just a reminder, advisory meetings are happening, and I'm hearing from advisors and students that they're really fun. Good time to connect and see some friends or connect with your fellow advisees. So even if you haven't been to yours yet, be sure to jump in this week and check in with your advisory. Speaking of this week, this is only our second week of remote learning, and today is only our third gray day. And I found in situations like these, time can go both slowly and quickly at the same time. So before you form any judgments about how this is going, please just remember that we're only in our second week of this, and so we're taking it literally one day at a time. So just a reminder, in terms of announcements and meetings, the dress code committee is still meeting, and they're setting up a Zoom. That's the school uniform and dress code meeting. Check your email for the students who are on that committee, and there's going to be a Zoom meeting on tomorrow. Mark your calendars for Coalition of Community Service. That meeting is happening next week. That will also be a Zoom meeting. So Ms. Lundy and the advisors for Coalition and the officers for Coalition for Community Service will be letting you know how to get involved in that. Even if you've never been involved in the Coalition for Community Service, I think they're looking for ways that they can do some community service and still remain in line with the governor's recommendations around physical distancing. So here's something that I didn't see coming with this remote learning is how easily I can get distracted by way of multitasking during Zoom conferences or Zoom classes. So my suggestion for you is, especially since you're not around your peers as much as maybe you want to be or you usually are, is that to try to minimize distractions. And it might be that you need to kind of put your phone on the other side of the room when you're having a synchronous Zoom class session, and really be fully present for your peers and just enjoy the time that you can be together, even though you're not like physically together. Birthdays today. Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe, was born on this day, as was former Vice President Al Gore. These two famous people share a birthday with South Burlington High School students Lucas Mann and Hugo Valentine. So happy birthday to Lucas and Hugo. Okay, so because today is a gray day, it's time for our gray day shout out to an expert or a person on the front lines who can help us with this. And today, I'm actually going to welcome a special guest, SB dad and local physician, Dr. Chris Hebert. And there he is.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, Doc. How are you?
Good. Good morning.
So, hey, I have some questions for you. Is that all right?
Sure, of course.
Okay, great. So first question is, you're a general practitioner, right?
Yes.
So what does that mean?
So I'm at a general practice, or I'm internal medicine. So I think general practice could be family practice, which takes care of kids all the way up to adults. And then, of course, pediatrician, which maybe many of the high school students see, although they may be starting to move on to what I do is internal medicine. So I take care of people about age 18 and up.
Okay.
So the oldest patient I have is 101, and she just was living independently until the past year when she finally moved into a nursing home. So 18 until very late in life.
Oh, that's awesome.
I take care of both like chronic conditions like diabetes, heart disease, lung disease. Don't vape, kids. I do preventative stuff like annual exams, vaccines, labs. And then I also do, we call it acute or kind of short, new conditions. So if someone has a new problem, we take care of that. And I like enjoying the variety that I see and just getting to know my patients. I've been doing it for 15 years, and just the relationships with my patients, I enjoy that.
Very cool. So you must be hearing from your patients who are concerned about coronavirus and COVID-19. And so, like, what are the top questions that you're hearing from your patients, and what are the answers?
Yeah. Oh, well, that one could take a while, but yeah, I think for the most part, I was actually on call 2 weekends ago, and I had a lot of calls then, which of course is understandable. And I found a lot of people just wanted to talk. They were anxious, they were worried, they're concerned like all of us. And you guys, the kids are probably better at navigating this than me even, but there's so much information out there. And I think people are getting information on social media and different things on television. It also is changing, day to day or hour to hour. So I think a lot of people, I was just talking to them and trying to reassure them, or they had some good questions, directing them to good places to get that information. The CDC has good information, the Vermont Department of Health. So a lot of it just people had some good general questions and directing them to the right place. But then also a lot of calls from people that are sick and just figuring out whether they should be tested a lot. And again, that changes. But right now, the latest from the Department of Health is if you've got the symptoms of a fever and a cough, we've got enough testing now where we're testing anybody who has those symptoms. So just trying to get them set up with tests, which are being done for the most part in Chittenden County at the fairgrounds.
So sounds like CDC, Vermont Department of Health, and then your own physician are like the three best places to get information.
I would reach out. Yeah, you can call the Department of Health for some general information, but they usually guide you. Your doctor knows you. They know if you've got chronic health conditions and need to be tested, or if you should stay at home. So yeah, those would be the things I would reach out to.
Okay, awesome. On a personal note,
sure.
You are a dad of 2 members of the class of 2020. So shout out to Rachel, who's current senior at SBHS, and also Devin, your son, who's an SB grad, who is a senior at Hamilton. What's it been like for you as a parent of 2 seniors, and what are you hoping in terms of how, what's the best case scenario that can happen for the 2 seniors that, live in your house right now?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, there were certainly some rough days at first, but I think things are going well now. I think Devin came home, he didn't come home from college. We found out that Hamilton College was going to be not going back after spring break first. So that's the first we heard. And then the second was Rachel with it was 3 weeks off from school not off, the distance learning that everybody's doing. But then last weekend, obviously that was a pretty rough blow for her to find out that school was not going to be going back to the school, presumably for the end of the year. Even personally for me, I'm sure everybody has something they were looking forward to their senior year, but I've watched her and all of her friends play softball for the last 12 years and coached them. And we had this trip to Florida planned, and we felt strong team. So I think she was some of that stuff bothered her. So there were some tough times, but there's been some positives too. Like we're playing, more cards together. We're going for walks together. We're watching Tiger King on Netflix, which is a really fun thing to watch. So we've had some more family time and bonding. So that's been good. And as far as what I hope they remember, I think, I remember my senior year, it was fun. But they've also had 3.5 years, I guess, of college in Devin's case, or in Rachel's case, not just the 3.5 years of high school, but since she was a kid of knowing her friends and the great memories and friends that she's had. So I don't want them to forget, though. They may be, I don't want to say missing because they're still doing things, but they're missing some of these memories they'd be making now, but they've got, many years in the past of great memories that they've always made. And I think, as a doctor, what we're doing with the social distancing, I'd like to think it's working. So when we all get through this, I think Vermont's doing a great job of it. I'm hopeful that at their, 10-year class reunion, they'll say, wow, that was crazy. And that'll almost be a memory in itself of how they made it through this together.
Yeah. I mean, there's no question that, what all of our students, especially the seniors, are going through now has been, it's historical in context.
Yeah.
And also, I think, not so much for Devin, but, for the South Burlington high school students, I think I'm committed to seeing if we can really make something happen special for them, any place, anytime, anywhere, and I don't think we need to, close the door on this class until after we get an opportunity to get them back together. So I'm looking forward to some creative ideas there. And, it's a little harder for the college kids because they're going all over the world. But, for us here in South Burlington, for our Islands kids, our Georgia kids, we know that we're going to be able to to do something to make their senior year special. So
Yeah,
thanks
I'm
for
sure it'll be
joining
great.
us today,
Yeah.
Doc. It's been awesome. And thank you so much for like what you're doing, and to all your colleagues in the field. You know, it's really an intense time for people in the healthcare profession. And, you know, we're really grateful for all the Vermont docs and nurses and PCAs and just everyone who's really on the front lines making a difference. So thanks for what you do and your colleagues as well.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You bet. Take care. So that's all for morning announcements today. Thanks, Doc Hebert, for joining us. And stay tuned because we have more special guests on morning announcements as we move through the rest of this week. Thanks, everyone. Have an enjoyable and productive day.